When a flyby became a threat for months, astronomers spoke calmly about an interstellar object named 3I Atlas. According to early calculations, it would pass through our solar system, swing wide of Mars, and disappear into deep space like so many cosmic visitors before it. The public was reassured. Scientists called it routine, just another traveler from the dark. But space has a way of punishing certainty. When the James Webb Space Telescope redirected its instruments for deeper analysis, the story began to change. Not dramatically at first, just numbers shifting slightly. A trajectory tightening by fractions of a degree, velocities increasing when they should have stabilized. Small changes, invisible to casual observers, but deeply unsettling to those who knew what they were seeing. 3I Atlas was moving at nearly 87 kilometers per second relative to the Sun, a speed so extreme that it could cross the distance between Earth and the Moon in under 90 minutes. Speed alone, however, wasn't the real concern. Interstellar objects are fast by nature. What alarmed scientists was behavior. Natural comets slow down. They fracture. They shed mass chaotically as solar radiation tears them apart. 3I Atlas did none of that. Instead, it began accelerating subtly, consistently, as though correcting its course. Its surrounding coma doubled in brightness within weeks, releasing unusually intense ultraviolet emissions and massive carbon dioxide outgassing far beyond known cometary norms. Then Webb detected something unprecedented. The object's tail wasn't venting gas randomly, it was pulsing, rhythmically, every 17 minutes, not turbulence, not solar heating, but timed bursts, perfectly spaced. Identical in duration and intensity. To astrophysicists, it looked disturbingly familiar. It looked like propulsion. As additional observatories joined the effort, including GEMI South and NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, revised models told a far more dangerous story. What was once a comfortable near miss was now an approach within 1.95 million kilometers of Mars. On a cosmic scale, that margin is razor thin. Simulations revealed something worse. If the object gained as little as 10 kilometers per second, a fraction of what its pulses already suggested, its trajectory would shift into a direct collision path. In other words, Mars was no longer merely near the line of travel. Mars was in the crosshairs. And those propulsion-like emissions were not random. They were aligned precisely with the planet's orbital plane, as if the object were adjusting its aim. Between September 19 and September 30, even a single additional outburst could determine whether the object missed Mars or struck it head-on. At this point, speculation escaped the fringes of the Internet and entered academic discourse. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb and his team published a controversial analysis suggesting that 3I Atlas might not be a natural body at all, but a technological artifact. Radar reflections from Mars orbiting assets return metallic echoes, rather than icy signatures. Ground-based antennas detected surface responses inconsistent with rock or dust. Amateur astronomers captured high-exposure images showing narrow, greenish beams converging toward Mars, synchronized with the same 17-minute pulses. This was no longer about a comet. It was about intent. If 3I Atlas were to impact Mars, the consequences would be catastrophic. With an estimated mass of 10 billion tons and a relative velocity of 57 kilometers per second, the energy released would exceed 2 million megatons, dwarfing every nuclear weapon ever detonated on Earth combined. A crater 60 kilometers wide would tear into the Martian surface, ejecting debris into orbit, potentially even toward Earth. But the true loss would be scientific. Decades of exploration, rovers, orbiters, experiments searching for ancient life, all of it erased in an instant. As international agencies quietly began planetary defense discussions, one chilling realization set in: humanity wasn't watching a rock drift through space anymore. We were watching something navigate. Mars is a destination, not a victim for decades. Mars has held a unique position in human exploration, not just because it is nearby, but because it refuses to behave like a dead world. Beneath its rusted surface lie subsurface lakes, buried ice reservoirs, and chemical signatures that whisper of past. and possibly present life. That is what makes the trajectory of 3I Atlas so unsettling. If the object strikes Mars, the devastation would not end at the surface. The extreme heat and pressure would fracture the crust, exposing deep layers untouched for billions of years. Any dormant biological systems, microbial or otherwise, would be violently released into an environment already saturated with foreign material from the incoming object. And that raises a darker possibility. What if 3I Atlas is not designed to destroy Mars, but to seed it? Astrobiologists have long debated panspermia, the idea that life spreads naturally between planets via meteorites. But what scientists now fear is something far more deliberate, directed panspermia, life not scattered by chance, but delivered with intent. Leaks from within the Webb science team intensified these concerns. During a final ultra-deep scan, Webb spectrometers reportedly detected synthetic polymers embedded within the object's gas emissions, materials resembling carbon nanotubes, molecular chains similar to human-made plastics, structures that simply do not form in the vacuum of space through natural processes. Even more troubling were isotopic anomalies in carbon and hydrogen, ratios that do not match any known solar system body. These findings were classified for 48 hours before limited data was released. And then, silence. NASA press briefing stopped. Mars rover telemetry showed unexplained gaps. Questions were redirected. Behind closed doors, emergency task forces convened not to stop the object because stopping it was impossible, but to understand it before impact. Then came the leak. A classified transmission referenced an impact protocol initiation. What that protocol entails remains unknown. But insiders confirmed that encrypted signals were sent from Earth-based stations to every operational Mars asset. Why send signals if there is no way to intervene? Unless the signals were not meant to protect Mars, but to communicate. If 3I Atlas is responsive to electromagnetic patterns, orbital beacons, or encoded frequencies, then humanity may have already done something irreversible. By activating those systems, we may have confirmed not only that we are watching, but that we are capable of responding. And if intelligence exists behind this object, it now knows we are aware. A team of cryptographers at the SETI Institute took an unprecedented step. They translated the object's trajectory, velocity changes, and gravitational vectors into binary data. Then they applied compression algorithms used in deep space communication. What emerged was not noise, it was structure. Atomic numbers appeared in sequence 6, 8, 14, 26, carbon, oxygen, silicon, iron, the foundations of both biology and machinery. Interspersed were prime number countdowns and recursive spacing consistent with intelligent messaging. The implication was staggering. The object's path itself might be the message. Not transmitted by radio waves, but by motion, by timing, by presence. If it strikes Mars, that outcome carries meaning. If it misses, that too is a message. Either way, the event is not accidental. It is communicative. And Mars may not be the target. It may be the stage. Rehook, as scientists struggled to decode the message in motion, something even stranger emerged. Evidence that Mars itself might already be responding. When Mars began to answer, as 3I Atlas approached its closest projected pass, planetary scientists noticed something deeply unsettling. The object's refined trajectory passed directly over Elysium Planitia, one of the youngest geological regions on Mars. The satellite imagery revealed symmetrical ridges, spiral formations, and patterns resembling mathematical ratios, including Fibonacci structures. These features had been cataloged for years, but largely dismissed as geological coincidence. Now their alignment mattered. The descent vector of 3I Atlas pointed toward a perfectly circular basin less than 4 kilometers wide. No impact signature, no volcanic residue. At its center lay crystalline silicates with refractive properties unlike anything else on Mars. When struck by sunlight, they emitted infrared pulses at regular intervals matching the object's emission. Then Webb detected something else, trailing behind 3I Atlas at a constant distance of 0.07 astronomical units. was a secondary anomaly, not debris, not gas. A shadow, invisible to radar, cold to infrared, yet perfectly synchronized with the primary object's motion. It maintained its position regardless of gravitational forces, something was following the object, or perhaps being carried by it. As if that weren't enough, astronomers mapped the object's entire journey and noticed its closest approaches aligned with astronomical resonance dates, equinoxes, orbital harmonics, and rare planetary synchronizations repeating every 54 years. The last time such a configuration occurred during a celestial event, 1 Tunguska, coincidence became mathematically implausible, and then came the most controversial finding of all. Neuroscientists studying neural synchronization noticed that exposure to the object's light curve frequencies, especially the 17-minute pulses, caused brainwave entrainment across multiple human subjects in separate locations. Not suggestion. Not imagination. Synchronization. As if the signal were not only mechanical but cognitive. The question shifted from what is it to something far more disturbing. What if 3I Atlas is not a spacecraft? What if it is consciousness in motion? A thought moving through the universe. A message that activates upon recognition. And if that is true, then the real impact may not be on Mars at all. It may already be happening within us. The memory written in stone and sky archaeoastronomers began comparing the object's trajectory with ancient sky maps from Babylonian, Mayan, Tibetan, and Andean civilization. Across cultures separated by oceans and millennia, the same pattern appeared. A flame serpent descending from the outer dark, curving unnaturally near the sun, aiming for the red god Mars. One pre-Incan stone from Tiwanaku depicted 4 radiating lines erupting from Mars after the descent. When overlaid with modern simulations, the match to projected debris dispersion was precise. Someone had seen this coming, not predicted, remembered. As the impact window narrowed, Mars itself began behaving strangely. The ExoMars trace gas orbiter detected xenon isotopes rising from beneath the surface near Cerberus Fossae. Seismic activity increased. Subsurface temperatures rose. Then magnetometers picked up a weak but structured pulse. Every 17 minutes, Mars was responding. Olympus Mons, long considered geologically dormant, emitted an infrasonic harmonic that mirrored the object's waveform. A planet answering before contact. In forgotten thermal scans from decades ago, a buried heat pattern beneath Utopia Planitia resurfaced, now expanded, now matching ancient glyphs carved into Martian stone. Mars may not be dead. It may be remembering. The message that changes everything in its final spectral analysis. Webb identified something embedded within the vapor trail of 3I Atlas, a repeating molecular structure resembling RNA, not Earth-based, but unmistakably informational. The strands reacted to analysis, mirroring human encryption keys and musical intervals, life not as cells, but as language, designed not to survive space, but to transmit through it. As Earth, Mars, and the Sun aligned perfectly, mirroring ancient megalithic structures across our planet, the realization became unavoidable. This was not an invasion, not an accident. It was a convergence. Mars is not being struck. It is being activated. And Earth, we are not observers. We are participants. The impact may leave no crater, but it has already shattered assumptions about life, intelligence, and our place in the universe. Because 3I Atlas did not come from Mars. It came for our attention. And now that it has it, the only question left is this: